All right, welcome to the latest episode of the Coleman Power Organic Fitness Podcast. I have a solo Q&A here from questions people are asked on the likes of my socials, whether it's Instagram, whether it's TikTok, and or I've also added in two from today's live event that I've just finished in County Waterford. That's Mount Congreve, the business. So we'll go straight up to the likes of one of the most important ones that has been asked in. Okay, it's from the likes of Bulldozer Billy. Yes, that's an unbelievable name from TikTok. Chalk it down. Okay, and the idea is, if you're not following me on TikTok, you are missing a trick because there's different content there as well. All right, and after that, the idea is, the question is foods that help with eczema. That's the first question. Next we have from Kevin, right? What veg would you have in your diet every day? Following that, this is from David. What are your thoughts on milk? And final question, how do you stop sugar cravings? So the four topics that we're going to I'm going to say, touch on in this podcast. And before we go any further, we have a massive shout out here to Bulldozer Bill, as well as to the likes of the OG Nick. Chalk it down for the win. All right, both of them on TikTok, religiously helping and supporting the page. Lads, get on that good stuff. Okay, and for those of you that don't know, I also have a community page that if anyone is looking to and would like to support the likes of the page, it is something that's $160 a day. If you find any value in this at all, this just keeps me, I suppose, continue to doing what I'm doing, because it is, I suppose, difficult for the most part to do things consistently for a long time. And I've been putting out this podcast every single day then for the last 5 years, coming up this month. Chalk it down in on Thursday that we missed. Right, so let's go straight into that page. If anyone wants to support the page, you can send me a private message with the word organic and I will send you over the link for that private page. You can also get further discounts on different events that I do as well. So let's get straight to the question. For Bulldozer Bill, name of the day, chalk it down for the win as well. Right, foods that help with eczema. So I was someone that did suffer with that, which is an autoimmune disease that is from poor diet. And that's the first thing I'm going to touch on, right? Foods. Foods have a massive part to play in the way you look, you feel, and how your skin reacts. That's the largest organ in your body. So more often than not, I would always, I'm going to say, suggest to look at your diet. I used to have a diet which is completely different to today. My first meal when I was in secondary school and even through college was Weetabix with sugar, dry, because I actually wasn't able to digest dairy products. I was allergic to dairy products as well, and that caused further rashes on top of the eczema. So that was literally like a sugary biscuit followed by, God almighty, my first mini lunch, whatever you call this, a little break, snack, a Nutrigrain bar, which is a glorified chocolate bar covered in chocolate and more so sugar. Like, it's not good for you. That's inflammatory, right? Inflammation for the likes of, I'm going to say, from foods that are full of added sugar are not what you want in your diet. So that's the first thing. After that, I'm going to recommend the idea of, like fruits and vegetables as well as meats that really help with the likes of eczema or any other gut health issue for the most part. Okay? And that's the key thing. Changing up your diet to have more fruits and vegetables which are anti-inflammatory, right? Fruits and veg are a no-brainer. So that's something that's dark leafy greens, whether it's kale or a mixed salad bag, which is really important to add into your diet. And people are like, oh, I don't know what to do. They're not really fond of greens. Making smoothies is a game changer. And that's what's really going to be helpful, okay? With maybe a natural probiotic, which is an organic yogurt, to line the stomach first thing in the morning. So there's different things that I've incorporated into my life, whether it's, I'm going to say, a yogurt, natural organic yogurt you can very easily get. Okay, I recommend the low fat one with the high protein, because that's also going to help a little bit of cravings. After that, I would make sure that, okay, you add in another food item that's fermented. That's going to improve the likes of your gut health, right? Adding it in from the likes of either kefir, which I'm actually making at this moment in time. Very easily, got lucky enough to bring in some really good friend of mine, Audrey Burrows. Shout out to Audrey, right? And based in Cork. The idea is all these people that literally are connected to myself are all on the same healthy buzz, right? Whether it's, I'm going to say, Bulldozer Bill and or Nick, the idea is the more literally people that you literally know that are healthy will literally want you to be healthy, and it's a web of healthiness out there to connect with, right? So that's the first thing. Natural probiotics. Other probiotic foods that I definitely have switched up in my diet that have majorly helped would be my breads, to sourdough bread. Sourdough bread is fermented. Again, it feeds your natural beneficial microorganisms in the likes of your gut. So sourdough bread is another food item that I would definitely suggest, especially because my bread's consumption and most people's, when they're starting off, just generally living, is poor quality white bread, which is often sprayed, okay, especially if it's non-organic, I'm going to say, breads you're getting. That is something that is and does cause issues with the likes of leaky gut, because the spray with glyphosate. Glyphosate is a carcinogenic, but also is something that harms your gut. All right, and from that, doing a simple switch from the likes of, I'm going to say, the poor quality breads to an organic sourdough, and not only that, you can also switch up to an organic oat, such as either the organic, my favorite, Merry Mill, all right, Merry Mill, which is from Kevin Scully, and I actually have a discount code, chalk it down, which is POWER10. That's POWER 10. That's really everyone in relation to that watches this podcast, that listens to the lives, and or anything else in my inner circle. So the idea is that's another food item for minimal cost that will have a maximal benefit to the likes of your health, especially if porridge or oats are one of the first things you have in the likes of the morning, right? So that's another carbohydrate. So the veg we touched on, the carbohydrates, the fruits, and an apple a day keeps the doctor away. But the idea is only if it's an organic apple, because those apples can be sprayed up to 10 times in a growing season. That's not to scare you, that's to inform you. I want the best for you and myself, and that's why I've changed up my diet to have much clearer skin both on my face and around my body through massive, I'm going to say, the beneficial food items such as apples, such as bread, and such as natural probiotics. The prebiotics are literally all the different, I'm going to say, high fiber foods such as onions, garlic, and leeks. I would have bone broth, okay, on a regular basis to improve my skin health. That's something that you can really make from bones, that from somebody that I actually know, and delighted to be able to share this as well. Brendan Guinan, all right, from Fearview Farms. And as a result of that, it's something that I highly recommend. So all the time, okay, knowing that it is foods, whether it's meats or it's the likes of, I'm going to say, eggs would be another food item that you can get off this man. And if anyone does buy from, I'm going to say the likes of, it's something that, right, you can get your hands on by it be delivered straight to your door. Brendan Guinan. But if you are buying it, make sure you put in the comments you got a recommendation from me, because I'm trying to more simply set up something with Brendan myself. And if you would do that, I'd be super appreciative of that, right? And what's probably my fastest way to make bone broth? It's not something that you make fast, right? The slower you literally cook, slow cooker would be amazing, right? Doing a bone broth is something that how to make it fast is simply to make it slow. Because if the key thing is you can't make it fast, because you do make it fast, you haven't done it right. There is marrow, which is in the center of the bone, okay? And from that you have to slow cook it to allow that to soften so that it goes into the liquid, which then turns into the soup that you literally drink. And preferably, again, first thing in the morning, if you can at all possible, take a drink of that bone broth, which also should have for maximal benefits to your skin health, which is the symptom we're talking about, eczema, would be nettles and or dandelions, cleavers, and or sticky back, which some people also know that. Okay, so dandelions, cleavers, nettles, the top three, which you also have a smoothie on the likes of my YouTube. We haven't checked that out as well. All free content there, lads. Check it out. It's my name, same channel, same content, different angles, right? Shorter, longer. And after that, that is my, I'm going to say, top fruits and veg. And then following that, the meats, and not only the meats, but also the likes of fish that are high in omega-3. Okay, a lot of people mention salmon, but I'm going to say it isn't my preferred choice for people to add to their diet, because it's something that, okay, I read a funny comment there online. You're cooking in the office. It's a long-term running joke. That is a long-term running joke, inside joke as well. When I was in California, I was cooking in an office. It was kind of like an offside to my bedroom. But the idea is having fish as oily fish as local as you possibly can, such as mackerel, especially on the coast of Ireland, will be much more beneficial, or sardines, because they've that high omega-3, they haven't been farmed, and it's something that is going to give you maximum benefit to your health. So mackerel, a no-brainer. Literally, you can have that, and it's actually traditional in Ireland. In some cases, some countries, in some villages, they have it for breakfast. Okay, so fish is amazing. I'd have no problem in having fish in my diet, and would actually suggest it to more and more people to have on a regular basis, right? So that, and meats, definitely, again, things that are organic, whether it's mince meat, whether it's, I'm going to say, your fish that you have to have organic, because not necessarily something, just because something is organic doesn't mean it's necessarily healthy. So I would suggest wild caught, or just caught by the likes of a local fishmonger, a fisherman who sells it into in a fishmonger state, is the best for you, right? So that is sardines, lovely. They contain vitamin D, also good for people who don't get outside as much as they'd like to, and or do take supplements. But the sun is out there now for the vitamin D. That's more so for the winter months, but still, same principles apply, right? Really good question there. And next thing is, how did I stop my sugar cravings? This is something that I used to have an absolute pang of sugar cravings, okay? But I've completely, again, eradicated ultra processed food. So I used to eat a lot of sweets, right? And when you eat a lot of sweets, you're feeding the bad gut bacteria. So it all links back to your foods that you eat, have a direct result in the way you look, you feel, and the cravings that you have as well. So adding in more magnesium foods is the first game changer that's really going to be helpful. So that, what I mean that is dark leafy greens such as kale, rocket, arugula, right? For those people in America, we touch on, say, pak choi, right? Brussels sprouts when it's in season in September months. Okay. After that, we are looking at hemp seeds, a complete protein for those people that are vegan or vegetarian. Not that I'm a vegan or vegetarian, I'm just suggesting that to you. You don't have to be a vegan or vegetarian to eat tofu or tempeh, or the one that has high magnesium, hemp seeds. Also a seed, pumpkin seeds. Yes, you can get pumpkin seeds, and you grow your own pumpkin seeds. You can also harvest them in the October months to gain the advantage of those. And roughly inside those, lads, there is over 100 seeds. And when we literally gain the advantage of those, we can have 20% of our daily recommended amount in the likes of 15 grams of pumpkin seeds. We can also have 15 grams of hemp seeds is another 20%, that's 40. And then we can have another 20% of your daily recommended amount by adding in 100 grams of greens, any greens you like. Okay, that can also be nettles. Following that, it's something that, okay, add in to the last 40% of your daily recommended amount is cacao. Cacao is literally a super food. You can add it to yogurt. You can put it into that smoothie that talked about. This baby talked. Don't know why it said chalked. In the first section of recommendation for things that improve the likes of your skin health, whether you have eczema or not, all these tips are going to improve the way your skin reacts and acts and looks. Right? So the idea is, I can't recommend the likes of those magnesium foods to you anymore. The idea is finding a way to add them in to your diet is essential. Right? So moving on to, I'm going to say, what veg would I have every day? It is a really good question, and there are a couple of ways I can kind of take this. I'll give you my top three. Beetroot's got to be number one, okay? Because it's something that is high in that antioxidant, okay? And the antioxidant is something that is purple in color. So every antioxidant is, I'm going to say, and does give a distinctive color itself. Anthocyanins, don't ask me to spell it, is something that you get when you have a purple color, and that comes from the beetroot. It grows very well, and it's actually in season right now. The leaves are edible as well, and they also are from the spinach family, which means they really have, and they are high in magnesium. Bish bash bosh, get on that stuff, right? Beetroot is so unbelievable in a smoothie on its own, guaranteed. Okay, but just literally cook it like you would a potato. Right, you just steam it, you can really roast it. I put it in whole. What you do is top the leaves off, put them in a salad, top the tiny bit of a tail, do a whisker, like a little bit of a beard, and you can definitely eat the leaves. The leaves can go with your smoothie and or be eaten just straight. I have a video of teaching and showing kids online about how important, I'm going to say, it is to eat them, and they couldn't really believe it. The kids, they're mighty adults that I teach as well, and you can You don't have to necessarily cook it, but there is a tiny bit of an advantage to cook it because it does contain oxalates, which is an anti-nutrient. So you literally steam it for a couple of seconds, pan fry it, and the idea is from that you gain maximum benefit from it. But I would often eat them as well, so don't worry about it too much raw. It's something that's not, I'm going to say, going to ever cause excessive amount of damage. The benefits are outweighed of any of the negatives, even when eaten raw. So just the idea is add it into your diet any which way you possibly can to gain benefits from the beetroot, both the leaves and the swollen stem. The root is like a tiny little goatee whisker. You just chop that off or rinse it and just eat it too. Okay, you can eat the whole thing raw, which I had done before, like an apple, and it is delicious. So that's probably the first thing. Next thing is probably my favorite green, is like rainbow chard. It's also really easy to grow, and as a result of that, I do recommend people to grow their own. But you can also buy it from a country market, and there's something it's called silver beet in the likes of the American individuals and listeners to this podcast. I know I have the best of fans over there. And after that, for anyone that's kind of, I suppose, wondering how long does it actually take to fix your gut, you can actually change the way your gut acts in a period of 24 hours. That's really a day, okay? But you don't, I'm going to say, and will gain a much more beneficial, I'm going to say, gut from, 7 days following that. 30-day period is where you see the maximum benefits from it, changing from increased natural pre and probiotics feeding into your gut, your energy levels will increase, and just to repeat, even for those people, my second favorite, I'm going to say, vegetable to add to my diet every day would be rainbow chard, or silver beet is also another name, and because they're from the likes of I'm going to say the spinach family, which I cannot recommend enough, right? Contains iron, bish, bash, bosh, you is the winner, right? So that's my second one for my favorite vegetable. And probably after that, I would go with basil or basil. That is kind of a herb, but for the most part, I do enjoy the green because it's something that's an adaptogenic. It helps our body deal with stress. It's something you sow at this time of year. I can't recommend it enough. It's delicious with tomatoes, which are coming up into season, right? So there's the beetroot, the holy basil, and sweet Genevieve is the variety of seeds that I use from Seeds Ireland. I do recommend. They're based on Limerick and they deliver straight to your door. Coleman 5 is the discount code for that. Just COLMAN 5. I'm giving you all my good stuff away, lads. Okay, and it is, I don't, like, a lot of people will often mention, is there green supplements or any supplements for any issue? The idea is, I don't, right? And the definition of a supplement is to supplement what you cannot get from your diet. And that's kind of it in itself. So after that, like, sometimes people ask, are the organic fruits really organic in the supermarkets? The idea is you have to kind of trust somebody. The idea is if you can try and shake the hand that feeds you, that makes it so much better for the likes of you, because you know where your food comes from. Like, I know my farmers. I grow some of my own greens and food because I really do enjoy not only the benefits nutritionally, but also the benefits of it mentally. You can de-stress by touching your hands off the likes of the soil, and that's another real simple way of, I'm going to say, reducing inflammation in the body, and why my eczema has cleared up. Right after that, the idea is the more that you literally do of either growing your own or getting outside or adding anti-inflammatory foods to your diet, the better it is, right? And I haven't even mentioned one of my two, if not three, favorite other remedies for better skin health. That is the turmeric, that is cayenne pepper, and that, in a way, after that would probably be like sort of paprika, and I'm going to add in cinnamon as well. All those are super for reducing your cravings because the cinnamon controls your blood sugar levels. The anti-inflammatory properties are something that the food items all have small bits of fibre and are something that I highly recommend to anybody suffering with skin health issues or would like a better glow, because the turmeric is something that's high in, I'm going to say, curcumin, and it needs black pepper, or more so the likes of cayenne pepper, or whatever. It's been a little more spicy, which I do like a bit of spice, for activating the anti-inflammatory properties on that. Right. So after that, we'll move on to our final question from David. Right. What are your thoughts on milk? Okay, so to further expand on this point, right, without having more details on it, milk is something that isn't the first thing I would look at and into with somebody. So people must remember, and I have a really cool statement that was passed on to me from a coach. Okay, don't ever major in the minor. People that drink milk, right, as long as you're not drinking pints of it, like big tall glasses, that'll be something I would look into. Okay, if you're having a cup of tea, you have a couple of mouthfuls of it. Okay, and the idea is there are different types of milk, whether it's plant-based milks, oat milks. We have plant-based milk. We have soy milk. You have oat milk, right? You have after that, you would have coconut milk. You would lean towards I'm going to say low-fat milks, full-fat milk, raw milk. There's 6 different milks. My preference would definitely be unpasteurized, unhomogenized raw milk for myself, now that I've healed my gut, because I used to be unable to digest the lactose because of a leaky gut. So that's my first point. After that, we would take example the plant milks. A lot of them would have, I'm going to say, the likes of added stabilizers, E-numbers, which literally are not what you want in your diet. And after that, I didn't mention added sugars, but also is something that's glorified water and oats, because that's really what oat milk is, lads, for the most part. Okay, and if you want to make your own, it's very, very simple. You just need a muslin cloth, right? Hope I'm pronouncing that right. Muslin cloth. It's really like a J cloth for the most part. That's steeped in oats, and from that you add water, and after a 24-hour period, it's something that I can't recommend to people enough if they're unable to tolerate the lactose, or they will have issues with the whole, I'm going to say, milking of animals, and that's absolutely fine too. I have no preference to diets, but people that have, for ethical reasons, don't want to drink dairy or consume it, that's absolutely fine as well. All right. So would you recommend avoiding milk for oat to other alternatives, even if you're fine with it? And just so I'm clear on that, that's something from Kevin. Would I recommend avoiding milk for oat? Would I recommend avoiding milk? For the most part, I'm not 100% sure I'm misreading that. If you really good podcast so far, there we go. We have this on most certainly TikTok live here on my left hand side for the interaction of the page in itself. My thoughts are to heal your gut to then get back onto a natural prebiotic, which is something that's beneficial. Milk isn't something that should be and consume a huge percentage of your diet for the most part. So I would stress that people would maybe, I'm going to say, focusing on having higher protein foods, having healthy fats and complex carbohydrates from fruits, from vegetables, and complex being literally something that takes a little bit longer for the body to break down, to give you a slower release of energy, right? Kevin's after getting back to me here on the left-hand side, so wait one sec. Even if you're okay digesting full-fat milk, would it be better to use alternatives? I would say that it's absolutely fine to use alternatives where you're able to tolerate it or not. Tolerate it, let's go with it, because that's the question from Kevin. It's something that, okay, is a minimal amount of your overall foods, right? I would say the fact that it comes down to preference. Do you want to drink the milk if you're able to tolerate it? Do you want and like the taste of, I'm going to say, your oat or your all other alternatives? Oat, I'm trying to think of another one off the top of my head. Oat or cashew for the most part. And most of those oat milk lads are full of stuff, additives that don't help you. It's almond milk, yeah. Almonds are not made in Ireland, depending on if Kevin is from Ireland in itself or Ernest, for that matter, listening to this podcast. And I prefer people to consume foods that are as local as you possibly can, because you gain, it's not only beneficial for us, me and you, it's also beneficial for the environment. That's the whole ethos of an organic fitness lifestyle, and people who just want to be healthier. You're supporting the environment, and we're only here for a short period of time, and I'm so passionate about literally our health, but also everyone that lives here in these green isles of, I'm going to say, Ireland or anyone else from anywhere else in the world, or America, Australia, and the UK, and some people listening in Europe. Come on, views, let's go. And you do me a massive favour. If you're listening to this podcast and you get any value, would you please share it and or double tap there, because that would really help with the likes of the views. And that's just literally me asking you to do something. They cost you absolutely nothing. If you're listening to it on Spotify, if you could literally subscribe, that also really helps. And just to tell you about different events that are coming up very, very shortly, we have the 18th of May in, I'm going to say, the beautiful, delicious and nutritious Barnahound. Okay, there's a grow your own day with nutrition, talking all about how to either grow your own or where to get it local as you possibly can. That's in and on the 18th of May, starting at 12 noon and finishing at 4. Okay, you get an organic fitness meal, right? Prepped, cooked, bish bash bosh, up to you on that day as well. Okay, it's one of Ireland's top 50 locations to visit. Barnahound is in Mitchelstown, North Cork. Right, that's something that's really, really cool and something that I really love support on. If you're available, I would love to see you there. And after that, I love ending these podcasts by saying stay tuned, stay classy, and keep it organic.